on, Lisa.
Producer, director, some musical people
Close
who are
up.
going to join us on stage. Answer your questions or tell you things that you may not even know you want to know. And they'll use the music too. I'll leave you all to it. Yeah, let's give all a round of applause for a good film.
Are they on? Well, thank you very much for coming. This is the first screening of the film in a cinema in London. We have been with film festivals. We've been with film festivals in many countries. We have taken it as far as we could. This is the first one in Kilburn. Funnily enough, some of the story that's been told is going at the heart of the development of Jamaican music with Island Records, and Island Records sort of like second office was in Kilburn. Esther herself had to get up sort of like at 6 o'clock in the mornings to just get started and to get through with the music, because the music was getting through in Jamaica but not in England. And in Kilburn there was a very important Jamaican community, which still is, and there were several record companies who were actually turning out music, and Island Records was trying to get over that part of the market, and so it was Kilburn is very, very close to Esther's heart in the effort that were made over 30 years to get Jamaican story and Jamaican music across. And so she sends love and thank you for coming from Miami. She couldn't be here, and I co-directed the film with Esther, and then our friends. We are kind of a big team of friends more than a business-oriented operation. And so we have Maureen, who has been helping. She was in Hope Road with the Wailers and everybody else there in Kingston. And Lisa, who organized this screening, she's also local. And Tim Hain, who is the musician who composed the song "Cry for Love," which closed the film. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to more or less answer them.
Don't be shy.
I have a question. Do you think that the whole pop music and indeed the whole movement of the reggae going to mainstream music, do you think it's as relevant today as it was at that time?
I think it's more relevant today. I think we're getting more relevant, from my point of view. At the time, the difference, I think, it was that you needed to get over. You need to cross over. There was kind of it was discrimination greater than today in Jamaican culture in regards to reggae music throughout. So Jamaican music got over and now is a major force around the world. Now, what is very important is that and the film tries to highlight that, is that the music is not just the rhythm, the bass and the drum who marks a pace, which in Naibindi sort of tradition will be just sort of like dancing at the rhythm of the earth's heartbeat. That is just one part. Then you've got the message, which was letters and stories that were written down that has to do with human frailty and suffering and injustice. And so you couldn't have more relevant issues today than the sense of justice and equality and oppression.
So it's also about human potential. It's not just the downside, it's the upside as well. It's about human potential, who we are, human beings. That's what it says to me. Not just the suffering, also the heart. That's what the music is about. That's why it's more relevant today than ever, as he said. We need the heart now. I need to feel that heart. I love it. To me, that music still feeds that, and will always feed that. So my 2 cents.
Yes, the way I see it in regards to the film is that it's a militant film somehow. It's a love story. It tells just one single point of view, which would be, like we would say, Esther's point of view, but at the same time, it's trying to take, it's trying to be militant about it, in the sense that, the music is not just for enjoyment, just like that. It is, to carry a message, and that message has to be updated. I mean, there are lots of things that are happening today here in this country. They're happening in Europe, they're happening in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in Latin America, in Africa, in Asia, that people have to actually stand up and say something about. And in particular, Tim Hayne had a very interesting approach to the song that he wrote, which I mean, if you allow it, I thought that it was very important that he could actually put it across, so that we could get closer to one of the musicians who created the music. Most of the music in the song, in regards to that question, are the children of the Wailers. You know, the drummer's son, Akila, the bass player's son, Aston Barrett, and other artists have contributed to the music, because the business side, the people who own the publishing, basically the people who actually own Jamaican music, wouldn't allow the music on the film, which I thought it was good, because if you wanted Bob Marley's music, you could actually go and buy it, or just go and listen to it. It's everywhere, you see. In this case, it was a very intimate story. And so it was great that the film, thanks to this sort of like controversy about the rights, it allowed a new generation of musicians like Tim Hayne to come along and have their say about the music, and carry on for another generation the same heartbeat. So, any particular questions? Any particular questions?
I've got a question, but it's about the tapes and not about the music, so I don't want to stop the stream of conversation about the music if you want to do some more about that. It's just about how the tapes were discovered, the story behind that, and who owns them now.
Yes, Esther and I, we have been working on Jamaican projects and this project for many years, and the tapes, the photograph, the story, everything was suffered kind of a huge hurricane. I mean, it was very difficult to actually just pick and put all in an archive and restore, and we have done it over many years. Legally, also, was a very tricky thing, because she had not been helped to actually bring the music and bring the photograph and the footage. All the photographs that you see there are Esther's photograph of the time, and they're just the leftovers, because most of the material had been lost. And so in the process of we making a documentary, which ended up being this one, there was a fellow from the Channel 4 who came wanting to interview Esther. Channel 4. And he had made another documentary before called Classic Albums Catch Fire. And he showed us the film that he had directed, and there was some footage of black and white, and Esther said at the time, listen, this is my material. She had told me that the material was there, and I had spotted it here and there, but there was no clear clarity. Somebody had used it in a very nice way, in a Peter Tosh documentary called X, the X tapes. But it was obviously was her material, and it had been ripped off, that somebody had taken it, and they were not being forthcoming about where it was, and who owned it and all that. They were actually just ripping her off. I mean, they were just being outrageous. And so this documentary maker wanted to interview her. That was a very valuable interview. So it was almost like, from my point of view, it was a position where he would, he handed over the master in exchange for an interview, pretty much. And so we made it clear that